Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. So when we watch everything that's going on in our lives from the different places that we found ourselves upon, living in this ancient system, I wonder sometimes which generation will be the one that will finally, well, I would say realise, but I think every generation must have, in the modern generation, must have realised that the way we're living, the system that we're living, just doesn't work for everyone. It doesn't work for the beneficiary of mankind, in the sense that everything that we have to do has to be based on the bits of divisions that we've made of the plots of land that we found ourselves upon, countries, and that stops us from helping each other out. And of course, money, and banking, and elections, and the different ways that different parties behave, the elite system, in the sense of those people that are at the top, their children stay at the top because they have more access because of money to better education. Um, the level playing field that they keep talking about bringing up is never going to happen, because the system is just not geared to work that way. It's always going to be rich and poor. It's always going to be different categories of people at different places. And yeah, people can escape those bubbles, but it's not everyone. Not everyone, and that's where it fails. So I think most modern people must have reflected upon the way we live and feel very frustrated that we can't help out this person or this country, or we can't bring all these people here because we don't have enough houses or money or this, that, and the other. Whereas these are all self-imposed restrictions upon humanity that we've inherited over the time, and we believe that these are the best ways to run our societies. So the realization has already passed. The generation I'm looking for is the generation who will be the ones that will do something about it. Not just say, oh, wow, that's the way it is. We can't change it. We can't just get rid of money, you know. But the problem is it needs a collective generation. The problem is with elections, we always keep electing the older generation, and they, like the Putins and the Bidens and the Johnsons and etc., who have that old mindset, born in the Cold War. They're always going to have that hatred for other countries and vice versa. So we need a generation that doesn't have that wants to look at humanity as humanity, and that wants to guide humanity in the best way, which is that we all do things that puts humanity first. So anything that gets in the way of that, we get rid of, i.e., money, i.e., systems that don't work, i.e., education, for instance. We know how to educate. We know how to, say private schools are the best schools when it comes to bringing people's minds, or say some of the public schools that are at the top. We know how to do it. We just need to replicate that everywhere. We need to make sure all the teachers are up to the same standard, not just people doing jobs because they have to, because they need money to survive and they're not capable of doing it, and then children suffer. We need, and that's the same with nursing and medicine and all these things. We've got a lot of people in jobs that are not really suited for them, but they have to do them because they need money, they have to pay the mortgages, they have to live, and that's the way it is, and people will do things. And we need to get past that mindset. We need the best people doing the best jobs. That doesn't mean that everyone needs to work. It means the ones that have those skills need to be there. I don't think we need money to incentivize. Look at climate change, look at protests, look at charity work, and etc. Not the big NGOs that own the charities that seem to live in mansions. I mean the ground level people. People who always do work, they don't need money. What they can get instead is that everyone gets a house, everyone gets access to a car or whatever they need. Maybe we can have money as tokens, but not in a way that we don't need to, just because, I don't know whether we need that or not. Surely we don't need a piece of paper from a tree to be able to, well, even now it's digital, isn't it? It doesn't even exist. Most of the money that we spend doesn't even exist. It's not based on gold or reserves or all that kind of stuff. There's too much money going around for it all to be there. every country is borrowing more than it is all a facade anyway. So it's like playing Monopoly, but just, oh well, anyway. But I think people would do the things because people love doing things. We love, you know, to do things. So those people who want to be doctors will be doctors. Those people who want to help people will help people. Those people want to build houses because they love doing it. So what we get in society is, yeah, you may get people who don't want to work, but you'll have enough people that are working. And we don't need to look at it like, oh, you're not working. But I am, and the only reason we look at that is because of the different values of things and benefits and money and stuff. If you take the money out of it, if everyone has a house, if everyone has everything that they need, if everyone lives equally wherever they are, because that's not difficult. You don't have to have an arid land and a poor country that's suffering hundreds of years of hunger and poverty and etc. We know how to do it. We just need to upskill people and do it and just get on with it, and then make every country a modern country. Every country has everything that it needs. Every person has everything that it needs. There won't be that way of looking at people of, oh, you got this, you got that, so why should I work? People, there will be those people at the beginning, but this will take time. It'll take hundreds of years, thousands of years to get to this level of people not looking the way we've been, brought up to look, and the way that because of the system it makes us look that way because of money, because of the system, etc. So I don't know which generation it will be. Maybe it's impossible because there's so many of these old mainframes, as it were, that have this old way of looking at things, of money and systems, and keeping the way the things that everything is, and not thinking anything can be changed, and we're doing the way we're doing things is the best way anyway. I don't believe anyone really could believe that's true, because you could look at your own country, your own place, and think, everything is fine, but your responsibility as a human being isn't just to your own little bit of plot of land that you've encircled and said this is this country name. Your responsibility as a human being is every human being, and when there's still suffering of human beings, like I've said previously, out there in the world because of our own way of living. People don't have to die because they don't have access to medicine. People don't have to die of diseases that we should have solved hundreds of years ago by working together and not competing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just looking for the generation that will be the ones that will be able to do this and change the world so that humanity can live in peace and humanity can benefit from humanity rather than us enslaving ourselves in this system that doesn't work and that leads to people's one existence being not the same and not. And I've said all these things. It gets depressing when he keeps saying all the same things and nothing ever changes. I know in my lifetime I'm not going to see this generation, and maybe this generation will never come, and we'll just carry on suffering. My children's children, and your children's and children's children, everyone's children, till time immemorial, till the everything finishes. We're all dead, and we all have had this chance to do whatever, because there's no one with a gun to our head saying you have to live like this, but we're all choosing to live like this, and we're all going to live a life of suffering like the hundreds of years of people that already have. Take care, easy, rest in peace.